Hi guys, I'm back with another YouTube video and I'm here with Dev. Say hello.
What's going on, people? I'm excited to be here. Been playing Bryan just over a year now, so yeah, happy to share the knowledge that I've learned over this time. So yeah, let's take it away.
Okay guys, so the notations on the screen will be for P1 as most beginners do play on P1. But if you are looking to play P2, you can just look at Dev's command history, which is on the right side of the screen if you need to see the notations for P2. Okay, so Dev, you've been playing Bryan for quite a long time, so if I'm a beginner and I'm looking to play Bryan, what's a few punishes of his that I should be learning?
Yeah, so starting from sort of the bottom of his punishment list with his 10 frames, you've got 1 2, you got 1 4, and you got 2 3. Now, all of these have different functions. So if you walk into me, so 1 2 13 damage, it's not that great for a 10 frame, but gives you +8. So in certain scenarios, and it keeps you close to the opponent. So a lot of good follow-ups. You have 1 4 as well. Now this gives you a bit more damage, 19 damage, but it gives you only +4. So you're a bit more limited on the options you have after. Then you have 2 3, which gives you the max damage, +6, but it pushes them really far back. So it kind of resets neutral in a way. But that's his 10 frames. And then when you're looking at his 12 frames, you got 4 3. Pretty good punish, 27 damage, +2. Hits sort of long range moves as well. So if they're sort of far away, this is sort of your best bet to go for. His punishment isn't really that great until you sort of get around 13 frames. You got downfall 2-1 at 13 frames. Now it only does 23 damage, but you can also go into sway, which changes the properties. So it's +5 on normal hit, and then with sway it's +8, which gives you sort of like a three-way mix-up with this into hatchet or QCB like this, or you can sidestep. So it just depends what you want to play around with. One of his new punishes that they've added into this game, which is a 13 frame, is up forward 2-2-3. Now this is a really good punish that a lot of Bryans should start using more. It wall splats from a certain range, 28 damage. Wall splats from quite far actually. So yes, it's a really good punish. And then this is where the character is very unique, where he's got a 14 frame punish. So he's got a jet upper, which is forward back 2. That's his 14 frame punish. Yeah, pretty self-explanatory. He doesn't have a 15 frame punish at all. From there, everything upwards, the only punish he has is forward 4-1, which comes out at 18 frames, which is used to punish sort of moves which push you back really far, like laws while standing 2. That's what this is used for. And then his while standing punishment, most of it is the same again. It's pretty average. So you obviously your gut jab here at 10 frames. You have while standing 4 at 11 frames. At 12 frames, you have while standing 3. And then, so his while standing punishment is pretty bad. But his 13 frame, so his full crouch down forward 2-1, does 37 damage. That's his 13 frame. It also wall splats as well. Then from there, you have your while standing 1, which is your 15 frame. And then you also have this, a Fisherman Slam, which comes out at 19 frames. He's had this for a long time. There's also a Blue Spark version. And yeah, that's his basic punishment.
So I know that he has like particular taunts, and I think like, is it Snake Eyes? Can we talk about like some of his special tools?
Yeah, for sure. So I'll start off with Snake Eyes. Now, this is a new install that they have given Bryan. So you can get it out of doing your full taunt, which is very rare. That's going to happen. And from this stance, you get access to a new string that they've given Bryan. So they've given him forward 2-1-2, 3-2. So this is one of the strings, 48 damage, and everything in this stance is delayable. So there are different ways to also access this stance. So you've got that move there. So you got forward 3+4. You can use to get into the stance. Yeah, if I was to show you like from a combo to get into this, you would do something like this to get your Snake Eyes. So the quarter circle forward 2-4, this will also give you access to Snake Eyes. You've also got his parry, which will give you access to Snake Eyes as well. On top of this, it also gives you advanced punishment. So the new string that they gave him, which is up forward 2-2-2-3, you now get an extended version, which gives you more hits, more damage, and it wall splats from further away. That you also get from Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes is really good. So the best thing about this string is that it fits into Bryan's kit perfectly, because you can delay all of these strings. You can delay literally everything that comes out of it. So the third and the fourth hit, even the fifth hit, you can delay. As you can see, that was that maximum delay there. So it just fits into sort of Bryan's mind game perfectly. So yeah, also from Snake Eyes, we have 3+4-2, which is new. Only -1 on block, so you can, you know, freely move around. It's basically your turn, really. Now on hit, it gives a knockdown. And, you know, with Bryan, if they're knocked down, you can sort of run up, maybe run another mix. And then at the wall, you know, it wall splats if they press. Now, if they're blocking the entire time, you know, it won't wall splat then, but there is a charge. So if I charge it and they're blocking the whole time, it will guard break and you'll be able to basically get a launcher at the wall. If you've clipped them, so if they're like moving forward to you and you're doing it near the wall, yeah, again, it will wall splat, the whole string will wall splat. Moving on to Bryan's next unique tool, which is Taunt. Taunt is a guard break in this game, so you know, generically, you cannot break someone's guard when you're just pressing buttons unless they're pressing into you. But the unique thing about this tool is you can break their guard. And as you can see in the bottom, it comes up as, you know, like a 3-hit combo, even though I'm only doing 2 hits. So this is what makes Bryan, you know, completely different from the entire cast. No one has anything like this. So some of the taunt examples that he has, or taunts that you would be using. Now again, this is more on the intermediate to advanced side, but a lot of the lower frame moves like your taunt 1-4s, etc., are a lot easier to do, and I would recommend trying to learn if you are a beginner, just so you can get used to it for when you eventually rank up in the system anyway. But yeah, taunt, you have taunt 1-4, taunt 2-3, taunt down forward 2-1. You can also do a taunt up forward or up 2-2-2-3. Well, that's your 13 frame. Then you can do taunt forward 2-1-4. Taunt just like that. And then you can also do a 15 frame. So you got taunt back 4, which is much better to use at the wall because you get a full launcher out of this, as you can see. So again, I'll just show you. Taunt back 4, you get a full combo at the wall. This one I would definitely recommend learning if you know you're going to be maining Bryan, because again, you get a lot of damage out of it. Now, the most difficult one, one of the most difficult things to do in the game is a taunt jet upper. Now, this is a just frame, so your inputs have to be perfect, meaning your forward, your neutral, and your back 2 has to be all on the same frame. Your forward has to be 1 frame, your neutral has to be 1 frame, and then your back 2 on the same. But again, that's more on the advanced side. Alright. As you can see, that is a taunt jet upper. 2-hit combo will come up as you can see on the screen. But again, I wouldn't recommend learning this until you're comfortable with Bryan overall as a character. There are more things you can do out of taunt. You can do things like taunt down forward 1-1-1, 2 as well. Basically, you can taunt his entire punishment that he has and then more on top. But yeah, those are sort of the cool ones. I'll just recommend sort of sticking to these basic ones when you're coming up in the ranks, and then eventually expanding outwards. But yeah, that's his unique tools.
Okay, so as a beginner, which strings would you recommend then, aside from like the ones that you've just shown us?
So general strings I would say to use, but also be careful when using, because they do obviously have counterplay to them as well, where they've got highs in the strings. So you've got things like 1-4 back 2-1. Now this counter hit launches on the first and the second hit. So if they were to block the first one and then the second one would hit, they would get counter hit as well. But they're both highs. Like this whole string is all highs. So again, all of this can be ducked and launched. At beginner level, it's okay to throw the string out, but again, it's not the greatest string, but you can kind of find a way to use it. You've got 4-3-4. Now this is a high mid. Now the final hit, as you can see, it is -12, but he has a high extension, which is 4-3 forward 4, which counter hit launches, as you can see. Now it's really difficult to pick up, but you know, it is a string that is just there. Eventually you can figure out how to launch it, so you can use QCB1 to pick it up when it does launch them, or you can even heat burst from certain ranges like that, as you can see, and then you can get a full combo. I would recommend, if it does land, just do a heat burst. QCB1 is a bit hard to get in that situation. Now, some other strings that he has, this is arguably his best string, which is down forward 1. So down forward 1 1 1 2. It's a 4, well, it's a 5-hit string, but it starts off with 4 hits into the 5th. And the best thing about this is you can literally delay every single hit, so you can what they call hit confirm it. So you can just keep throwing this out. You know, if the first couple ones are blocked, you know, or like the first 2 get blocked, for example, then the 3rd one connects, you can still finish the string and you can confirm it yourself. So really good string, mid check. You know, you got obviously down forward 2 1. Now this is a mid high, so they can duck launch, but it's a bit risky because you also have down forward, that's down forward 2 3 plus 4, which is a counter hit launcher. If they if the first hit, let's say, whiffs, for example, and they are looking for the high, it will launch them like this, and then you can get a full combo off, basically. He also has QCB2 4, which is again one of his best strings. Mids, it's got insane, it's a mid high, it's got insane range. You can hit from sort of maybe even just under range 3. Well, yeah, just under range 3, so around here. And you get a guaranteed follow-up as well. So you get QCB back 4, or QCB 4 there. Chunk of damage, literally combo worth of damage. So you got the 44 damage there plus the 21, so you got about 65 damage there. And you can hit confirm this as well, or sort of a twitch confirm this somewhere in the middle. Really good string to use. Also got down 2 3. Fantastic mid check as well. You know, you can just do the single hit, and you can even delay the last hit. And like sort of pattern you're seeing is pretty much everything has a counter hit launcher at the end of it. So as you can see, you can pick it up this way with down back 2, you get a full combo. Again, you can delay the final hit a fair bit as well. So if you think they're going to press, you can just let it rip. A few other ones which I don't use as much, but you use in sort of rare scenarios. You know, you got 3 2 1 2 like that, and it's all confirmed on counter hit. And the final hit, the mid here, it wall splats. You've also got a low extension out of it, which is 4. So you got 3 2 1 4. So that's a mix up itself. This string is okay to use as the ranks go on, but yeah, for a beginner, it's a nice little mix up. You got, you know, your mid and your low, but the mid is -12, so do be careful. Also, you have his jab strings, which are some of the best jab strings in the game. So you've got 1 2 1, you got 1 2 4, which is a heat engager. You got 1 2 3. Now, obviously, Bryan being a counter hit machine, they have counter hit properties. So 1 2 1 is a launcher as well. So if they do mash or press, you know, they will get blown up for it. You can also delay the 3rd hit a little bit to change up your timing. Now with the low, it will give you a guaranteed QCB4, so you get a flip over. So yeah, these strings you really want to use. These are probably his best strings, but again, you need to be careful because, you know, these are highs, which obviously has a mid extension. The 1 2 4 it's all highs, so they could be ducking, so don't throw it out too much. And you know, they're all hits are guaranteed on counter hit, but yeah, you need to be careful when using this. That is what I would say probably the sort of starter kit when it comes to using this character strings.
Okay, so you mentioned in some of his strings there's a lot of high moves and you can launch them. So let's look at some of his launches.
Yep, cool. So Bryan is very much a counter hit based character. In terms of launchers, so obviously you got your, you know, your jet upper combo, you know, your forward back 2. That is your main launcher. You know, you got forward 4 1. But most of his kit relies on counter hits. So things like forward 3. So forward 3, this is one of his best moves. Counter hit launcher. obviously full launcher guaranteed. Like I said before, you got down 2-3. This is one of his main launchers you want to be using. You've got 3+4 long range mid, comes out at 18 frames, really good. Good way to keep space and distance between you and your opponent. Full launcher from this. One of my personal favorites that he has is a 12 frame counter hit launcher, which is QCF 3, so quarter circle forward 3. So it comes out at 12 frame, you get a chunk of damage from this as well. Really fast, really good launcher. It's good when people are sort of approaching you and they're sort of running into you and pressing buttons, you can just sort of throw it out and catch them. You have also got, obviously you've got your while standing 1 launcher, which is your punishment from crouch, really good launcher. So you've also got quarter circle back 4. Now this launcher, it's called a sock, we call it a soccer kick. But yeah, it's quite a slow start up, 17 frames, but it's a mid. It is, yeah, -12 on block. But it's not bad to throw out here and there if the opponent's ducking a lot. You know, it's still worth throwing it out. Just don't abuse this move because obviously you'll keep getting punished for it. So he's got back 1 as well. So this is probably his biggest launcher, where you'll get probably the most damage from. A very slow move, but it gives you +4 on block. It's good if you've kind of stopped the opponent from stepping and moving around because it is quite linear, but it's a really good launcher. Don't over abuse it because I know Bryan's love to throw this move out. So just be wary of how much you use it. You also have one of his newer moves that they're giving him. So you've got quarter circle back 1. Now this move right here is basically an electric. You know, it says 13 to 14 frames, but it would probably take around 2 frames if you're on point to input this, so it could come out 15, maybe even 16 frames, depending how quick you are. But fantastic counter hit launcher, normal hits. It will just give you a knockdown into a guaranteed follow-up. Either, you know, quarter circle forward 1+2 or quarter circle back 4. But on counter hit, it gives you a full launcher. But it is an instant screw, so you don't get a huge combo out of it, but it's a pretty good combo. So we also have his orbital as a launcher, so pretty slow, 24 frames, but it has weird properties where, like, if you did it round start and someone jabbed, you'll beat their jab, or maybe even a mid. So it's really good. So you can either do up 4, which I recommend doing, especially if people are trying to run into you. But if you want, you can, a lot of people sort of naturally divert to doing up forward 4, where you sort of approach them with an orbital. But this obviously, you know, make more chance of you getting hit if you're approaching them. So, you know, up 4 is always the best option. As long as you know the range of this move, then obviously, you know, you get your full combo from it as well. And yeah, those are his launchers. Alright, so I feel like it's important to go into this section where we talk about some of Bryan's pokes. Now, I've spoken about some of them in the string section already, but this is more about how to implement them and, you know, use them effectively. So I'll start off with some of his lows. Now, Bryan genuinely has some of the best lows in the game. You've got downfall. Some characters can't even punish this at tip range, and it's neutral on block, so it sort of resets neutral, it pushes them away from you, it comes at 15 frames, very fast, very good low, tracks both sides as well, so fantastic low. You have down back 3, -1 on hit, which is whatever. You can move around, you can basically do anything you want, comes at 16 to 17 frames, or 16 frames, and it high crushes. So if people are throwing out electrics or you're playing against someone like Kazuya, this is only -12 on block, so you wouldn't be able to launch this, and it would, you know, stop you from being hit by electrics. So really good low. Now, one of the best lows in the game is hatchet kick. So you had, obviously I've told you had downfall, down back 3. Now you got quarter circle back 3. Now this is one of the best power lows in the game. +5 on hits. It has counter hit properties as well, where it knocks down, guaranteed quarter circle back 4, chunk of damage. It is relatively slow, but it shouldn't stop you from using it in your game plan, because again, it gives you a bunch of plus frames where you can do things like down 2. So down 2 being sort of the follow-up low I wanted to mid that I wanted to tell you about. So as I told you, it's got the extension down to 3, which is -10, but for the reward that you get for this move, it's not that bad to throw it out. But yeah, fantastic poke, comes out at 14 frames. It is a frame trap from using a hatchet as his +5. This comes out 14 frames, so your opponent can't do anything, but they can step in a certain direction, but don't worry about that right now. Down 2, fantastic poke, keeps them in check, is +8 on hit as well, if I remember correctly. Yep, +8 on hit, so you can do pretty much anything after that. As I told you before in the string section, you've got down forward 1. Now, this tracks Bryan's weak side actually, so you step Bryan right in general, but again, don't worry about that too much. So if they are moving to the right a lot, this will track them and kind of stop them, but you do need to be careful because if they are walking to the side and to the right of you, this can whiff like the final few hits, and it is -15 the final hit. So you want to be really careful with the string. You want to make sure that they're sort of facing you like this, and you know it will all connect. Eventually, the more you play them, you'll understand, okay, this is going to miss, so let me just stop finishing the string. But yeah, one of the best strings because again, you know, you can do one hit, and then you can go back into one hit and sort of play a mind game around that. Because again, Bryan is a counter hit based character, so the more you change up your timing and sort of scare people with things like down forward 1 and you know how you're using it. I might do 2 hits, I might do 3 hits, then stop, do 1 hit and then do something else. Maybe not snake edge, but yeah, you can really play around with that move. Again, you got down forward 2. Be really careful and mindful with using down forward 2, even if you're throwing out something where you're +5. So even if I did, you know, hatchet into down forward 2, after hatchet, you can literally step this move either direction. Really be careful, it's a very linear move, but again, in certain situations, you have to use this, keeps them in check. It is a natural frame trap, comes out 13 frames, and obviously it's got the extensions. The mid extension, the down forward 2, 3+4 is -13, so again, just be careful with that. But yeah, your whole sort of game plan with using his pokes, you know, using your down 4, your jab strings to sort of keep them away, you know, create some space for like a 3+4, use your down 2 to keep them in check. Just really play around. Those are sort of the core pokes I would say that you'd want to use. So, you know, his jab strings, 1 2 3, 1 2 1, 1 2 4, even just doing single jab, down 4, down forward 1, down 2, down forward 2. I would say those would be your main pokes as a beginner, and then start to learn how to use them effectively.
Okay, so which combos would you recommend for a beginner then?
Yeah, cool. So I'll just go through sort of the ones that you're most likely to be using. So you've obviously got your jet upper, which I would say is your most important combo. Now there are more optimal combos, but we'll go through sort of the easier combos to do. So you got jet upper. Now the inputs for this is so you got your forward back 2, forward 1+2 into down 3 4 2, then you run up, you back 2 1 forward 2 1. So just to go over that again, so you got jet upper, forward 1+2, down 3+4 2, run up, back 2 1 forward to go into snake dash 2 1. That would probably be your easiest sort of bread and butter combo that you would want to go for. It will work at literally any angle. The down 3 4 2, the forward 1+2, it'll work no matter, you know, what sort of angle you hit it from. If the ending is too difficult, I would say just run up and do back 3 forward 2 1, just like that. Then you've got your counter hit launcher. So because again, most of your combos will most likely come from counter hits unless you're punishing with jet upper, because you most likely won't be throwing it out randomly in the neutral. So then we've got a quarter circle back 1, which you'll probably be using a lot. Here's a simple combo: used to be 1+2 1 jab, back 2 1 forward 2 1. So that will probably be your bread and butter. It's got good carry. You can always end it with back 2 1 forward 2 4, so you end up with the snake eyes installed right at the end, where obviously, you know, you can access your snake eye moves, etc. So yeah, I'd recommend that. And then you have your back 1 combos. Again, you'll probably be using back 1 a lot. So you've got back 1 1+2 1 jab, back 3 forward 2 4, just run up, back 3 forward 2 1. So yeah, I would say those are your bread and butter staple combos that you'd want to go for. And this is a nice saucy combo that I like to use in game, so we will put the notations on the screen. But if you do want to give this a go, do give it a go. But just remember, this is a beginner guide, so just do it if you please. But a really cool combo Bryan has, probably my favorite combo in the game. insane carry, practically wall to wall, looks really good. But yeah, if you want to have a bit of fun, then do try that combo out.
Okay, so for the last part of the guide, can we go through some more combos, please?
So yeah, he's got quite a few wall combos, but I'll go through again the easiest ones to do. So let's say you wall splat them normally like this. You got down 4-2-1, up 4-2-2-2-3. You can do that 5 times, by the way, when you've got your snake eyes install. If you do use up 4-3+4 to get your wall splat. Now, if you don't have snake eyes extension and you use something like a jet upper to do your tornado, you would do down 4-2-1, up 4-2-2-3. So 3 times, end with the 3. The one that most people tend to use, even at the highest level, would be this. So 1+2, up 4-2-2-2-3. Again, the alt 4-2 you use 5 times and then press 3. But this one is probably the most consistent because it will literally hit at any angle. It will also sort of realign them. So I would probably recommend doing your 1+2-1 into up 4-2-2-3.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Dev. That's very helpful. I know it's going to help me.
No problem.
And guys, don't forget to...
Alright, yeah, appreciate you having me on. I really do hope this guide does help a lot of you out.
Guys, also Dev does stream, so I'll drop his links to his social media. And I'll see you in the next video.